Olá, tudo bem com vocês? Sejam bem-vindos ao canal Marajoara Cultural. Hoje nós vamos trazer um trecho de um filme da BBC. Na verdade, é um pequeno trecho que se dedica a falar sobre os achados arqueológicos da Ilha do Marajó. Mas não apenas isso, mas também trazendo as principais teses a respeito dos povos nativos que viveram no território marajoara, como Beth Meggs, Denise Chan, e o confronto e o conflito entre elas, coisa que é muito interessante, e no audiovisual acredito que nós não temos outro material parecido. Então o material é muito bom, de qualidade. Nós vamos trazer apenas um trecho para que não podemos ter problemas com direitos autorais. Eu peço para que você comente aqui sobre o que você achou ou outro comentário que venha dialogar com esse conteúdo. Então aproveite o filme.
But thousands of miles away on the island of Marajó, in the mouth of the Amazon River, another lost civilization left a clearer record of their lives. This is the Pororoca, a tidal surge that twice a year travels in from the sea. Its name in the indigenous language translates as the Big Roar, and it can be heard 30 minutes before its arrival. It is the longest wave in the world. It moves at 35 miles an hour, picking up force as it travels inland. By the time it hits the riverbanks, the impact is terrifying. It erodes soils, sweeps away trees, animals, and houses. But that's not all that Marajó puts up with. There are months of heavy rains. So for more than half of each year, most of the island is submerged. The result is a landscape shaped and dominated by water. To survive here in the past, people built earthen mounds which archaeologists have since rediscovered.
They were built because those are flooded lands. So people had to build mounds in order to manage that environment and to have high ground to live on top of it.
But the mounds were more than a safe haven against the floods. In 1949, while excavating one of these structures, Betty Meggers found something that no one expected. A huge earthenware jar covered with elaborate symbols and harbouring human bones. It was a funeral urn, part of a burial ground that turned out to contain 6 more urns. For Meggers, working with the theory that challenging environments limit the development of human culture, the elaborate ceramics were a surprise.
We had seen this beautiful pottery, and what we wanted to find out was where did it come from and what was the history, and that was what we were trying to find out.
Together with artifacts revealed in further excavations, they showed that a sophisticated human society, complete with belief systems, hierarchy, and symbols, had overcome the harsh environment and flourished in a land thought to be uninhabitable.
So Marajó was a surprise to them because it had very interesting pottery and very sophisticated ways of making that pottery, and that didn't fit the model. How could a group use complex techniques in a very hostile environment? It didn't fit.
To Meggers, it was clear that these people must have come from elsewhere. And for her, the clue to where they came from lay in the polychrome, or highly coloured ceramics.
The people that I work with have traced the origins back to Colombia and so forth, where you get polychrome, the earliest polychrome painting. You get a number of features that are found in Marajoara culture and burial and all that sort of thing.
She said those people came from outside, got there with this advanced culture and lived there for 200 years and they disappeared.
According to Meggers, A more sophisticated immigrant civilization moved to Marechaux, bringing their culture and ceramics, but then foundered and declined in the harsh conditions of the Amazon. But a new generation of archaeologists would begin to question this interpretation.
Later, even people who worked with Meggers got carbon dates for the occupation in the island. They found out that the Marajoara culture has lasted for 900 years. If you cannot survive in an environment that's not good for human populations, how could they not only stay for the 900 years there, but had those beautiful ceramics and produce a culture that's comparable to any other in the world?
In fact, Denise Ichan's later research found that the people of Marechaux had been producing ceramics for an even greater period of time, as far back as 3,000 years ago. And comparing the earlier and later sites, Ichan showed that the societies had evolved and not declined.
What had changed at a certain point in time is that they started building the mounds, and they started, just decorating these ceramics and producing ceramics of very distinct and different shapes, and doing these funerals and these feasts and things like that.
Clearly, complex societies had survived for millennia on Marechaux Island. But the question of how they sustained themselves in a region ill-suited to agriculture remained. Ichan believes she knows the answer to this question and how it relates to the mounds.
I saw the way that people today, still today, manage, for example, fish in the island. When the rains stop and the waters start to go down, the fish get trapped in lakes, in small streams, and even temporary lakes. And then people go there and just, they catch the fish. I mean, it's not fishing, you just catch. You can put fish in baskets. It's very easy. And then I realized that all that was going on very next to the mounds. And in every mound, you could find this kind of thing. So it became very clear for me that the mounds were related to the fish ponds.
The ancient inhabitants of Marechaux had used ponds on the edge of their mounds to intensify fishing and secure a reliable source of protein for most of the year. It looked like these ancient communities were not passive survivors at the mercy of their Amazon environment, but were deliberately reshaping the land and managing the wildlife in ways that allowed them to develop complex cultures. This was a radical new idea that challenged conventional beliefs about the limitations of human development in the Amazon.